Roses are a beloved landscape plant, and they've been that way for centuries. Whether you love the ones that climb on the trellis and remind you of your grandmother's garden, or the ones that come 12 in a box at Valentine's Day, or perhaps even out of your own cutting garden, or the ones that are shrubs that can be used in the landscape in a multitude of ways, they become a great addition if you know how to choose them, how to plant them, how to manage the insects and pests, and more importantly, how to choose what you love. Classification of roses can sound pretty complicated. Everything from species roses to rugosa roses, modern roses, shrub roses, grandifloras, floribundas. But let's start talking first about the modern shrub roses. They are a great addition to the landscape, again, if you want that color, if you want long season of flowering, perhaps even the complement of hips that would take you into the winter months. The modern shrub roses oftentimes are very complex parentage. They were first selected and bred for their hardiness, and that's a very important characteristic of the modern shrub roses. Many of them are on their own root, which means they may die to the ground in the winter, but they won't die entirely. They have been bred oftentimes for very clean foliage. Perhaps they're dwarf with multiple flowers, little tiny flowers. The range can also be very big, fully double. The rebloomers, such as the Knockout series, is a kind of a classic of the modern shrub roses. That doesn't mean they're completely disease resistant, but they are disease resistant. That clean foliage is a very important part of the modern shrub roses. Again, they can be fully double, they can be single roses, they can have a light fragrance. They don't typically have the very deep, old-fashioned rose scent that we think of with other types of roses. A key thing to keep in mind for them, though, however, is they really are a shrub. We don't take them to the ground prior to the winter months because that can hurt the hardiness, but they also look just great in the landscape if you combine them with the grasses, other perennials, even shrubs, so that they can give you that layering effect in the landscape between taller material and shorter material. When most people think about roses, they think of the grandifloras and the floribundas, the ones that are the classic perfect bud. They open into fully double forms, beautiful color range. They are not without a lot of management, however, to be able to get those beautiful flowers. They come in an incredible range of colors and sizes and shapes. They are disease prone, not very disease resistant, and you really should select for the ones that look the best during the growing season. Be prepared also to do a lot of pruning, a lot of management of the canes of those roses, some significant cutting back in the winter before the winter months hit. Cover those crowns so that they really don't die over the winter months, and also look for all those insect pests. We have a variety of different types of roses here, the floribundas, the grandifloras, the true cutting roses in the Heyman Rose Garden. One of the best ways for people to choose is to pick the colors you love for the situation that you have in which they will be growing. The best time to buy and plant roses in our zone is actually in the spring. So take advantage of thinking about all that wonderful beauty and scent and smell you might want in your own landscape. Choose wisely, whether it's a shrub rose, a floribunda, a grandiflora, a dwarf, a climbing rose, and watch our series because we are going to be talking about how to plant, how to manage, and most importantly, we're going to be talking about those insect and disease pests that can really damage your roses.